Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for the invite, Drunk Sports. Thank you so much for inviting me to the show.
No doubt, appreciate it, man. Let me.
Bueno, saluda a mi gente de ese que se me olvida, no tienen que apuntarlo.
El Trunk Sports Talk. Aquí estamos con el próximo campeón.
Oye, estos son la gente que son, más nada.
Así mismo.
What? That fight. Let's take that fight. What do you think of that fight?
Shu Shu and Castro is a good fight. I think, the way boxing is now, there's kind of the rush to so Shu Shu is almost a victim of his own personality, and I mean that in a positive way. He's got some, good character, good media presence, a lot of great performances in New York City, courtesy of Top Rank.
Yeah.
And that was some momentum he had. They were building him up. He took the leap of faith, jumped over to the Jake Paul Netflix thing, got on the opening card. One would think that it expanded his visibility. Meanwhile, his skills are certainly that, are of a contender. I think he's ready for a world title. The featherweight landscape, just gets tricky. So you still got Angelo Leo out there. Right?
Nick Ball.
Got Nick Ball out there. Got Rafael Espinoza out there. So then you got, formerly Stephen Fulton, but now Shu Shu, inherited that title. So
yeah, and Fulton's probably not coming back down, I don't think, right?
No, probably not.
Yeah.
But here's the funny thing about that division in boxing in of itself. I don't know, do they respect you when you win the title or when they give you a title? But now that Shu Shu's got the title, he has to just continue to focus on the marketing part. Because here's what I'm saying. Do anybody care if Shu Shu's a world champion or not? Because as it stands now, he's a world champion, right? And I'm not going into the hardcore, your email. Because I don't even like when people talk
I don't
that
like the
thing.
email
I don't like
shit,
that.
but it's a
so
thing.
Because it's a thing, because how you win the title are like, it means something, not for me as a fan, but for memory. Like if it doesn't make a splash, so again, for all the media buildup, from all the presence he had, it usually culminates to that title moment. And unfortunately, boxing really didn't do Abdullah Mason justice when you talk about being a contender that was built in a similar situation by Top Rank. All of a sudden, he gets to the title shot with Sam Noakes. He wins the world title as a young prospect. And fucking crickets from these piece of shit ass boxing fans that pretend to be hardcore.
Shout out to Abdullah Mason.
Shout out to Abdullah Mason, and shout out to Shu Shu, because I'm almost afraid, and it doesn't matter to me, right? Because I'm still gonna watch. But it's really, Castro isn't enough on this card. He's been here before. Like I said, Top Rank, New York City, New York City. The Jake Paul, Netflix, and now Carlos Castro on the Shakur Stevens. Sure, it's a great fight, and but at this point, I don't even know, do we need to see the levels? I just think we need to, now that he's arrived, whether we brought him there or whether he was positioned there, now that he's arrived as a world champion, it's time to start making shit happen. And so he's got to turn up to New York City and really get out there, because boxing is, I hate to say it, man, it's losing a bit of its zest. And so he could be a world champion, but without a strategy to demonstrate good title defenses against good competition, or at least go the unification route, what difference does it make?
I agree. And you kind of took a couple of my points there, which I'm glad, because I'm going to bounce this idea off you. You hear the narrative when it comes to Shu Shu, and I fuck with Shu Shu. We've been around Shu Shu before. I got his glove autograph. I got pictures with him. I've seen him a bunch of times. He's given me drops in the past. He's from New York. I'm New York. You from Brick City, know that. We got love for the kid. He's a local kid. We love him, and he's skilled. He's busy. So I don't want this to, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I want to read this quote, because they say that the narrative about him in some circles is Top Rank kind of had him in almost like a witness protection program type of deal, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna read this quick article, and I just want you to kind of elaborate on kind of the stuff you already brought up. It says, quote, at 28 years old, Carrington is no longer operating on prospect time. He is being moved with a level of caution usually reserved for fighters still learning how to be professionals. That caution became noticeable after his majority decision win over Suleiman Segawa. Segawa was, I remember that fight. Stricky, he's not elite, but I thought Shu Shu won that fight. But people criticized him a little bit after that. It says he was not exposed as untalented. He was just exposed as unfinished. The response from his handlers was telling. Instead of stepping him forward to a clear test, the path narrowed. He faced Hader. Now he's facing Castro. Each move reduced risk rather than answered questions. This is how you protect the fighter. This is not how you build one. Winning a vacant title under these conditions creates strange outcomes. Carrington may leave with a belt, but without the authority that usually comes with it. You almost said what this article is saying. Do you think it's, when you hear that, what do you have to say to that?
So, I'm big on analogies. All right. Boom. Once you lose your virginity, whether you a hoe or not, you ain't a virgin no more.
Yeah, facts though.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, Shu Shu's a champion.
Yeah.
He got to start defending that title or pursue unifications. Now, so what about title defenses? Yeah, title defenses, a vacant title against, ranked opponents, top ranked opponents, no pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
That could fly, but that experience, and I think that's what people saw in the Suleiman Segawa fight, is that what happens when you can't, hurt your opponent, and what about when you get dazed?
Yeah.
Can you figure it out? And in those close rounds, are you going to get it because we in New York City and it's New York City?
Right.
Because if you was overseas, you would have lost, and not just because of the Euro shit, just
right.
because of the what people are looking for with respect to ring generalship. Some of that experience can only come from that championship level fight being tested. And people can say what they want about Stephen Fulton, because he sure as hell didn't show up the way we thought he could have, and the way he did when he became a two-time world champion, right?
Yep.
But that happens because of experience or a lack thereof. And I think, according to the article and according to me and a lot of other people, again, if Shu Shu's a champ, you got to represent like a champ. You got to start looking for unifications, is my mind. Title defenses, sure, but if the quality of the opponent in those title defenses is suspect, then people are going to continue to suspect that my man is looking more like Sammy the Bull, than perhaps, what I'm saying, one of these other, notorious killers, you know what I'm saying? Witness protection. That's the word that's being used, and I'm not using that, but I'm saying,
right.
Top
rank protection or whatever,
matchmaking can either hurt or help a fighter. We know that's obvious, but again, I think what that article and many might be alluding to is, how do you gain the reputation and the experience of a world-class, world champion fighter if you're not fighting world-class or championship level opponents?